Hey there, everybody. It's getting a little late in the day. It's really cold. We have a few more days of sub-freezing temperatures until we start getting back into the normal false spring. So we are just buttoning up a few of the projects in the yard for some of the annual garden beds, and I thought I would show you some of the process and thinking behind one of the new additions this year. Stick around. So there is the A-frame trellis strung up. I did not finish tying everything off with tension knots. Everything is just held with basic slip knots at either end right now, just because I'm going to come through. You can see in here at the top, with every bit of pull that I gave one of these guide wires, the lashings here got more and more loose. So I'll come through, I'll retighten the lashings for the cross beam or the ridge pole, and then once those are tightened down, I'll do the final tightening of the hemp string. We're using a 44-pound test rope for our cucurbits, beans, and tomatoes. I apologize for the wind. I keep waiting for an opportunity for it to die back, and that keeps not happening. So I figured I'd get this out of the way now. So this is approximately 200 feet worth of trellis line. And the idea is that as the plants grow up from this compost area where beans and cucurbits will be, I'll also be interplanting and interseeding the brassicas, some of the cold season crops, to get some of the soil woken up with early season things. You can see that this compost layer here is right on top of the cardboard from last season. But the idea is that with each successive growth up the line, there will be additional weight pulling the ridgepole into its seat, which increases the structural rigidity there. And the weight, because of the loops around the posts as footers, will basically, the plants on this side will pull that side up and tighten everything. There goes the town truck with the chipper, which means that the pile of wood up front needs to start getting worked on. Anyway, the weight of the plants on this side will pull that ridge pole, or that footer, up, and then the plants on that side will pull this footer up, and then the ridge pole itself will have the weight pulling down, and it'll just tighten everything else up regardless of the tension on the strings. Although I would like to take some of the slack out to see if I can maximize, maybe even get another string up. The ones that are down here are approximately a foot apart, so they should be good for planting spaces, and we have a little bit more compost and soil to move into here, and we'll see how that goes. So we've just about finished up for the day on this particular portion of project. You'll notice that the left side here looks like the finished compost that we had been putting down, whereas this side here looks more like just regular wood chip. And you'd be correct, we have been taking from the pile up front where the town and the tree crews dump. We have seeded out patches of various brassicas in this portion of the bed. If I pan down, you'll see the line of cardboard, and if you just imagine it extending up that way in a straight line from it, you'll be pretty much on the money. You can kind of see over there in the distance where another little edge of the cardboard is poking up. But collards, kales, brassicas of all sorts, cauliflowers, broccolis, you name it. They've been seeded out here, and the idea is that we'll leave the compost closest to the strings uncovered so that we can easily and quickly plant in our beans and peas once the threat of the cold snap passes. And as the season progresses and the brassicas start senescing past what their tasty fruiting body time is, we'll start replacing those or just interseeding with our cucurbits, squashes, pumpkins, and the like. And that way we'll have a little space where the squashes can vine up if the beans have not taken over, or we can direct everything out into the lawn. And on the west facing side where the most afternoon sun is, we'll stick all of the tomatoes, and we'll get all of this section set with some more soil and compost in the coming days, once the threat of all of that initial frost has passed and I feel like it's safe to start planting things again. Anyway, that's our update, folks. As always, thanks for watching. Happy planting.